Hey guys, I'm Vlad with The Verge here at IFA 2017 in Berlin, and the phone I have in my hands is the new Moto X4, a new mid-range handset from Motorola. I have it here in this silvery bluish color and in black. These are the two options that you'll be available in. And I also have the most essential accessory for them, which is a cloth to keep them clean. These phones have great glass on the front and back, rather like the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 last year, which was a beautifully designed phone, quite aside from its explosive issues. And I feel like a lot of companies have picked up that habit of going for glass on the front and the back. It has the same sort of sloping curve size and kind of slope towards the front, 2.5D glass on the front, 3D glass on the back. So in terms of aesthetics, it is really appealing. I mean, personally, I really like the black one. Not everybody agrees with me. People more like the silverish bluish color. But I like the black one. It's really highly reflective and pretty, but it's only pretty if you can keep your fingers off it. I think it's a really nice, really reasonable screen, but there isn't anything particularly outstanding about this new device. You know, the bezels aren't much smaller than usual. The size of them isn't thinner or especially different. You still have this camera bump on the top, but this time it accommodates a new dual camera system. And it's different from the Z-Force dual camera system introduced earlier. The Z-Force uses one black and white sensor, one color sensor. This one uses one regular focal length 12 megapixel sensor, and then it uses a 128-degree ultra-wide 8 megapixel sensor, lens rather, to give you a wider field of view for landscapes, bigger group photos, etc. I've tried taking a few photos with these. You still have all the moto actions and moto gestures, such as this double twist to launch the camera. And they're pretty cool, but the camera itself, you know, this is a mid-range device. It's not going to give you anything particularly special. I wasn't impressed with the few shots I took with it, but you know, that's just first impressions. In terms of specs, you have a Snapdragon 630 processor inside. I think that's perfectly adequate. You know, there's a Snapdragon 835 that everybody's familiar with, but the difference between that and the 630, I'm not convinced there is much of a difference for most people's users. This starts with 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, and there's microSD expansion. That will be priced at 399 euros here in Europe when it launches later in September. It actually launches with Android Nougat, but that's just a matter of timing, and Motorola says it will get Android Oreo on there as soon as possible. There will be a 4 gigabyte RAM, 64 gigabyte storage version available later on, and it will also be coming to the United States. Now, in terms of software, this Moto X device is exactly the same as what you get with the other Moto Z devices that have launched this year. It's pretty close to stock Android with Moto's actions and a few other enhancements on top. It moves really fast, it's fluid, and it's nice and lovely. Motorola also has a new system where it can integrate all of your Android controls down into the home button, which uses swipes and taps and long presses instead of the 3 buttons, but you can have the on-screen buttons as usual on Android. The one standout thing with the Moto X4 is that this is Motorola's first device with Amazon's Alexa integrated into it. I didn't have any luck training it, but it's kind of a noisy environment around here. And also, most of these voice assistants hate my voice and accent, so won't hold that against it. But Motorola also says that this is the first of many, so we'll be seeing other devices with Alexa integration later on. So that's the Moto X4 from Motorola. It will be available in black and silver blue. That will be priced at 399 euros here in Europe when it launches later in September, and coming to the United States later on in the fall. Oh, and it has headphone jack.
Your general opinion.
It's too much Vlad.
That was so good.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay.
Now you have to include it in the video.
Sure. Wait, do it again.